Clyde opened the door and was immediately struck down by a club. The assailants then tied him up. Just then, his wife came running out after hearing the noise, but before she could react, one of the robbers, Darby, stabbed her and then sexually assaulted her. Clyde in agony struggled against his bonds, but he couldn't break free. At that moment, Clyde's daughter walked out, and the vile men turned their attention to her. Powerless, Clyde could only watch in rage and despair as his wife and daughter were victimized. The robbers were quickly brought to trial, but Darby cunningly became a state's witness, pinning the murder on his accomplice. He successfully avoided the death penalty and was sentenced to only 5 years in prison. Clyde found this utterly unacceptable. From that moment on, a seed of hatred was planted in his heart. 10 years passed in the blink of an eye. The other robber, meanwhile, was being executed via lethal injection. However, the robber, who was supposed to die painlessly, suddenly began to convulse and scream in agony before dying. It was a clear case of malicious murder. The police found a pill bottle in the room with a message written on it: "You cannot fight your fate." The detective recalled that this was a catchphrase of the criminal Darby.
I mean, you can't fight fate, right?
By then, Darby, released early, was in his shack using drugs when a stranger called, telling him to look outside. Police sirens wailed as cars approached. The caller told him to ditch his gun and head to a nearby abandoned factory, where a police car waited. Darby didn't have time to think and did as he was told. He found a police car in the empty lot with an unconscious officer inside. Darby woke the officer, forced him to drive to a secluded area, and was about to shoot him when his phone rang again. It was the stranger. He suddenly realized the officer in front of him was the stranger, and he was Clyde. Darby tried to shoot, only to discover the gun was empty. He also felt a dizzy spell. It turned out that when he had pulled the trigger, a poison dart had been released from the handle. The dart was coated with pufferfish toxin, which paralyzes the victim. Clyde tied him to a bed, hung a mirror above, and placed photos of his wife and daughter on it so they could watch justice. Then Clyde picked up a chainsaw,